I want you to understand is God said you're somebody because I chose you. God said you are someone special and I have set you in a special place. God says there is a world currently of multiple billions of people, but I know the hairs of your head. I know the DNA in your being. I know why I created you, and I created you for a special purpose, and I have set you aside to be an illumination of my very presence in the earth. I have set you aside to not only be an illumination of my very presence, but I've set you aside so that you can be the preserver of humanity, of all things that are good in the earth. I'm talking about when you have been chosen by God Almighty. You'll find individuals that will go to America Has Talent, that will go to American Idol. And when you look at the shows, you'll see hundreds of people, if not thousands. And they'll have a big casting call in LA. They may have one in Houston. And all of these people go. And they go with the hopes of being what? Of being chosen. They go and they're part of a crowd. And they go and they sit before 4 or 5 individuals hoping that they can be chosen to be set apart so that they can have the acknowledgement and the opportunity to operate in a special purpose. But I want you to know you've already been set aside. I want you to know from eternity past to eternity future, God looked out and he saw you in the spirit and he says, I have a special work, a special calling, a special assignment for that individual. And I am setting that individual aside. That's the first blessing. Amen. You better know it's a blessing to be chosen. That is the first blessing. There's a story told of an individual who gave away hundreds of dollars every day. An individual would go throughout the city and he'd find worthy candidates and he'd see them, give them $100. This individual would do this every day. And the persons who were chosen, their day would be lifted. They would feel special. They would feel special because someone else chose them. I want you to know that God chose you. God chose you to do something great. So go back to the Vegas story. So we're in Vegas and we're at this show and the individual said, I need volunteers. At first, no one goes. People start raising their hand. He says, okay, you. And you could just see their face change and they begin to smile. And he said, today, you're going to be a part of this show. Today. And so there's something unique about being chosen. There's something powerful about being set aside. But I just want you to know you've already been set aside. I want you to know that God too has a show. God has a masterful performance that he has planned out. He has a supernatural production and he has chosen you to play a starring role in God's purposes within this great earth. You've been chosen. You've been chosen by the Master. Yeah, you better see that thing now. If you are a believer, you have been chosen. If you are a Christian, you have been chosen. Powerful thing now. You've been set apart. Oh, let me move on. Now, if you've been set apart, then there is a predestination that goes along with your election. And the predestination is the purposes. When you've been set apart by who? God. When you've been chosen by who? God. Then God has certain steps. God has certain plans. God has certain blessings, certain things planned along this roadway for you so that you can be a star in his play. You better hear this gospel. See, it's powerful to be chosen. But I want you to know that there's a plan. So all these people raise their hand. And one part of the show, the gentleman says, hey, sir, stand up. Are you about 6'4"? He said, well, I'm about 6'3". He said, okay, I'm going to match up people that are 6'3". He said, okay, I'll choose you. You are 6'3". And the guy's like, no, I'm 5'8". Okay, I choose you. You're 6'4". Guy's like, man, no, I'm 6'7". I choose you. You're 5 feet, and you're gonna be a part. You know? And we're sitting there like, where are you going with this? And he says, hey, I need 4 volunteers. Oh, I got 4 people standing. Come on up here and be a part of this show. So while he was doing, he set them apart, and he had a plan for them. He set them apart. They didn't know the plan. I thought the plan, they thought the plan, that he was trying to find people who were 6'4", 6'3", the same height. But he was just selecting individuals to be a star in his show. I want you to know that God has a purpose for your life. God has a plan for your life. And all you got to do is trust him. So we go to the show with this great hypnotist. My wife said, are you going up there? I say, nope. So there's a show with this great hypnotist. So the hypnotist plays mind games with individuals. So all these individuals are on the stage. He says, you must be open-minded. You must trust me throughout this process. I'm going to suggest things to you. And your willful self will go with these suggestions. He said there's a place between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. There's a place right there in the middle. And we're going to live right there in that place for a little while. I'm going to make a suggestion to you, but I'm not going to make you do anything. But in that suspended place between consciousness and subconsciousness, I got a plan for you. I want you to know that oftentimes we're so conscious about life, we cannot hear the things of God. We're so conscious about how much money we have in the bank, we can't even hear how powerful God is. We are so conscious about how bad a relationship might be, we fail to recall that God is the one who's able to mend marriages. We are oftentimes so conscious about all of the isms in the world. Newsflash, there are some individuals in this world who do not like women. Newsflash, there are some people in this world who believe that little girls are weaker, little girls are not smarter, little girls cannot achieve like little boys. That's just a fact. That's a news flash. There are some people in this world that believe in pigmentation, and that if the pigmentation is of a certain hue, it makes you better. If the pigmentation is of a lesser hue, it makes you better. There's some people in this world that just believe things like that. And oftentimes what happens is we allow what they believe to affect our conscience. And we can't get past life's issues and life's isms. But I have a news flash for you. If God can get you and I to humble ourselves, to pull back just a little bit, we will be amazed at what he will do in and through our lives. See, the election says he has a plan for us. The challenge is for you and I to move past our subconscious mind and move back down into the spirit. Hear the things that he suggests, and you will be amazed at what takes place. So in the midst of this hypnosis exercise, we see that the individual has chairs. He lines the chairs up, tells the individual, sit right here, sit right here, sit right here. Everybody comes up and sits down. Everybody's sitting down. Then he takes them through a little exercise, gets them past their conscious mind, moves them into that intermediate state between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And here they are. Some of them unbelievers, some of them believers, some of them are professionals, some of them are unemployed. Individuals from all walks of life. There's no way he's going to have a 100% success rate. He had a 100% success rate. So here we have all these individuals who are consciously different, on the surface different, thinking process different, but he moves them back into a place where they are willing to submit to the suggestion of another. So when they get to